In this episode of Finno-Ugric Machining, we are going to make a light for my lathe. That's a very simple thing to do, just attach a fixture there. I use some old shower hardware for this operation. So, let's start with that one. So, let's deal with this bottom end of the tube first. There is some corrosion here at the end, not much, but there is some. And I really want to get rid of that. And I also want to get the inside clean. Well, the reason for that one is that we are going to put this one there. The bottom end of this will be in the lathe fixture, and then we have the top, which is going to go inside this tube. And then we have something like 10 centimeters, 100 millimeters in between. I checked that would be the correct height for the whole thing, so that it's not on my eye level, but a little bit above that. So, this will be one part of the thing. First we need to, I want to cut off this corroded part. I'm using this tool for that. This is something that is very good when you are dealing with thin walled pipes. So this actually should cut it quite well. Little bit more. And the nice thing about this tool is that it doesn't, there you are, like that. And this is brass actually, the tube, very nice. Okay, so it doesn't deform the tube. A little bit more speed, please. Go like that. And why do I want to clean up this? Well, I want to clean, glue the thing inside there. I think we are done with that one. This one should do better. And it certainly does. Yeah, okay. We have a very nice chamfer there now. Seems to be 1 millimeter type, so I believe it's 16, but let's make it sure. Let's see how near my quest was. Well, it's 16.4. This is actually now ready to go. I leave it here and then I go to my lathe and do this. Now this is going to be the most simple turning operation. 50 millimeters room there, maybe that much. There you are. I think there you are. Is about 850 revolutions per minute and feeding 0.076 millimeters per revolution. And it's control fine steel, so don't expect too much from the surface finish. There you are. It should be now in our target dimension. Let's see. So it should be 16.35. Well, 16.34. Now the next step will be to drill a hole. And it will be rather large. No, not large, a long hole. And yeah, well, finally I'm going to use this drill. And there is the tape. When I push it so far, it's well, I still have something to drill from the other side, but this is about half the way. So now let's drill that one using this. This is a stub drill. Yeah. You don't need to push. Just a little dimple into there, so that's enough. Then I have an 8mm drill, which is, this has split point. We'll take the speed down a little bit. I don't want to push this drill too much. Maybe that. Yeah, it's about 400 RPM now. Let's see now. And when you start this, I have noticed that if you do it carefully, it might not work that well. But let's see now if this will work well. Well, it works really well, actually. So that was 8mm, and the long drill is 8.5. And this is now the long guy. I want to do this very, very carefully at first. I will now do the rest of this off the camera and come back when we have turned the workpiece around and well, a little bit early. There is one thing we need to do for this side as well. But we still have a little bit more to go here. It's a tedious job to drill a deep hole like this. It really is. So let's put some shoes into there and go into the tube. Not a lot, as you can see. I think that's enough for now. So I want to get rid of that corner here. And then I want to make a large chamfer inside there. And now let's make this chamfer. Well, maybe we have a little bit too much revolutions there, but just maybe. That's okay for that chamfer. We have quite a large now. Yeah, just a little chamfer here. Like that. It's about there. Let's see, what is our... This should be now 17.95. Well, I really like this lathe. It's like you get what you dial in, and the taper then, well, there is 100 of a millimeter taper. This is a repetition of that process we had earlier. Okay. There you are. Quite large sample. Okay, this is there. So now let's make the sample here. Needs to be tightened, the tool should be tight. Well, it succeeded quite well. It goes into there like that. Yeah. I already cleaned this and that, so all we need to do is to have some glue in there. Well, yeah, okay, let's put glue in there, and that one too, a little bit around there, yeah, well, okay, and then hammer it a little bit in, that's enough, and there you are. After this glue cures, there is no way to get it out from there. Easily. By heat, yes, but otherwise no. This here is now the, Keep It Cool XL coolant delivery system. You just push some coolant through that one and then it showers down here and everything is kept really cool. Not. So this is what I'm intending to put here. It's a little bit longer than the lathe. This is 150 centimeters long, and it will be sitting on there. And that's about the correct place actually. It's very convenient. I was really lucky with this one, the dimensions match. And this is really lightweight, so it doesn't weigh too much for that one. So this will be our next patient here. I need to modify this a little bit. Let's see now. Let's put that away. Now this thing is we should get rid of most of this cup here and only leave about about that much there. Okay, let's see now. That's enough. I think I have a very small hacksaw like this, so let's see now. This should, yeah, it's very near to be cut off, so it was a good decision not to, not to push it entirely through. Yeah. There you go. Huh. Well, let's face it. better. Chips. Well, here is yet another gluing operation. This will be glued into there. And yeah, what I have done here, I cleaned everything, decreased everything, and I also have done the same for this. And I threaded an M16/1 thread into there inside. So let's now see. This is just gluing. So yeah, there you go. Well, there you are. Another part will stay there. Well, okay. Next step is to make the device which is holding the whole going inside the lamp. This should be quite low profile, so well, let's make it low profile. Let's take it. To replace the reposition my camera. This is on the way. Okay, much better. Now I will also raise the speed a little bit. Yeah. Oh wow. That should be all right. See. Yeah, it is. So next step is to wow, turn it the inner the portion here. We leave maybe 3 millimeter flange there. So I will turn this end down to 16 millimeters. And why 16 millimeters? Because we need to make the M16/1 thread into there. There, so it's quite a long way to 16 millimeters, so maybe I do this off the camera and come back when we start threading this one. Okay, now threading the M16/1 millimeter thread means that the major diameter is 16 millimeters and thread pitch is 1 millimeter per revolution. Okay, so well, I will not talk while doing this because this means that either one will suffer. Either my talk is something that you cannot decode, or the thread becomes ruined. I shut up and start doing this. Yeah. There you are. That's ready. Well, I hope. Yeah, of course it is. This is one of the easiest threads to make. So, now we have made this. It's just, there is a thread inside there. I made it there by a suitable tap, and now this should actually go in. Oh, well, yeah. Well, this is, of course, this is not the first time I try this, well, it fits really well actually. So now we just need something to rotate it while it's there, to have a tool on. Maybe some flats. No, I just file some dents here on the sides, and there you are. Well, our next task would be to thread. This one through this pipe. Well, there are two quite tight bends, and we have some places where the tube diameter goes down, so just trying to thread it there would suck. Well, it doesn't go well, I know already. So let's use another method here. That actually sucks. Here I have some, wait a minute, here I have some fishing line. You might see it, it's so thin. This is actually very strong. It has aramid fibers inside. Well, we thread this one in, and we really suck. So let's see. It will be vacuum cleaner. Well, this is really effective method, so it goes through like nothing. So now I can attach this to the end of my wire. Well, there you are. Then I bend it like this, a little bit. I think we are there now. Now I just pull from the other end of the line and it will go through the whole thing. Go in there. Okay, it went there. Oh! You know what happened? I succeeded in breaking this. Okay, now let's see. I try to help it a little bit. Okay, that's first. Okay, now let's help it. That. Yeah, okay. I need to feed it in manually here and then pull here. Yeah, it works. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's true. So, what we have at this end is now this. So, now, well, yeah. Okay. So, now I need to drill 2 additional holes to this one. It had one hole here, but I blocked it with the supported, well, it's a rubber seal, which, because I don't want to have a hole at that point. In the middle we need to have a 16mm hole. Well, I just started with my scissors. Yeah, that's our starter hole, and then I'm using my Christmas tree and just drill through. That's 8mm now. 10, 12, 14, that's 16. Should be. And then you can use this same thing to remove the bore. Okay. Now this should go there without any trouble, and it does. There you are. This one needs a 12mm hole, and well, which side? Maybe this one, where the rubber seal is. Yeah, okay. Then I just do the same thing with this one, but now I don't make it 16, I make it 12. And this Christmas tree is really nice when you are drilling holes to a thin material. Okay. Okay. That's 6, 8, 10. Oh. That's 12. Should be. Yeah. There you are. Okay. Of course, this one goes to that side, and well, I need to solder wires to this one because this has solder terminals. Okay, this is ready for installation now. Yeah. Well, now let's have the lamp there. Yeah. Yeah, and the fine thread is really nice because it's very easy to tighten it. Oh well, next thing would be to have this in there. There you are. And now this has a nice feature, this lamp. You can leave it hanging there and then you can make your connections here. I attach it there. Hopefully I can. Oh, it's very. Okay. I pull it so that it's okay. So now that should be enough. So I will now measure about how much wire I need here. It's about this much. So, okay, I cut it from there. Ha! Not a lot of extra. Yeah. Field. We need one of those to be connected to some of these. About that much. Boom. I twist the wires before I put them anywhere, so yeah, okay. And then we have a thing like this, and now I need a screwdriver, a screw terminal you might say. So then what I do, I will twist this, it is twisted, and then I bend it as it would be 2. So then when I put it there, there is enough meat so that I can tighten this. And there you are, that's one. And then brown. And then it goes to the switch, like this. And by the way, this is not how you should do it, this is how I do it. Okay, there you are, that's a proper connection. Then what we all need to do is to connect the rest of the wires. Then I check by pulling the wires that they are really there. They are really there. Okay, wiring is done. Let's lock this end first. Okay, now. Oh yeah, now. Okay, that's there. Yeah, okay, should be there. Yeah, first lamp is there now. And these are really lightweight. These don't weigh a lot. Okay, it's there. Knocks. There you are. Like that. And then the other side as well. Is it there? Yeah. And no. Is it not? No, it is. Okay. Now, and you have to take good care that these are all outside. Outside there. Oh well, then you just have to put it there. See that all the clips are outside, and this is, I have learned that this is not very... Okay, there you are. Then you just do it like this. And this actually makes the lamp very solid. It's like this thing, this is part of the construction. Okay, now. Now let's see what kind of difference does it make. This is without the light, and this is now with the light. Yeah, and the bad thing is that it shuts off when I switch off the lathe. I would like it to stay on, but and this is, well, yeah. Okay. So that was the light for my lathe. Well, and about 15 minutes before doing this, I may have had iron wire to attach it to the wall, because otherwise it would be very flimsy and would wobble like a tree in the wind. So, okay. Well, in the next episode of Finno-Ugric Machining, we are going to make the brake. And well, that will be a lot of lathe job, but also some milling. Yeah. So, till then, bye!